finally. Actually still February, but I really wanted to start this vlog today, February 28th, because tomorrow is March and I'm so excited. So I believe that my TBR video will be going up before this, so you'll kind of already know what I'm planning on doing for the month of March. My birthday is March 25th. I'm turning 27, and I decided I kind of wanted to do something fun for this month. I feel like I never do anything fun like regarding my booktube channel for my birthday, so I figured this time around I'd want to do something a little bit more themed. So I figured I would read some books written by authors that share my first name. So we have Days of Distraction by Alexandra Chang, we have Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews, and we also have Lore by Alexandra Bracken. If you didn't know, my nickname is Allie and my full name is Alexandra. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun because I already own a lot of books written by Alexandras, and I can't decide which one I want to read more. I'm leaning towards these two books, but I can't really decide which one I want to read more. This book is about Florence, and she is working in publishing. She becomes an assistant for a very popular and highly regarded author, and one day when they're in Italy and I think the main character is in a car crash, or both of them are in a car crash or something like that, she wakes up in the hospital and can't remember anything that happened, and she can't find her author. And so she decides to become the author. So I'm really excited to read this book. It's blurbed by some pretty interesting people. One of them is Maria Semple, the author of Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And I just watched that movie and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read the book yet. That's definitely something that I want to do in the future. I want to read Where'd You Go, Bernadette, because I think that I'm really going to like it, because I liked the movie, so I have a feeling I'll like the book too. So yeah, I think we're gonna start with Who is Maud Dixon. It's not a super long book. It's just a little over 300 pages. So I think that this will be a really fun book to read. I'm so excited. I am really pumped to get into all of these books, honestly, but yeah, we're gonna start with this one. I also really want to go make myself a smoothie, so that might be a thing. Also, I'm sorry that I'm messing with my bangs so much. They're really annoying today. They just look awful. I've also filmed like 2 videos, so that might be why they look so bad. But I am deciding whether I want to let them grow out. This would be what they would look like. Does that look cute at all? I don't know. I don't know if I'm like, if I am like, if I could like not do bangs anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that I look that good without bangs. I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments if you think I should grow out my bangs or if you think I should keep them. Because if you think I should keep them, then that makes it easier on everybody. Hi, Chewy. Hi, Finn. Finny. Finny, look. Hi. Hi, cutie. These are cute puppies. They're not allowed back here. That's why we have the gate up. Finny. You're so beautiful. Look at how cute you are. Look how cute she is. She's beautiful. Look at how good it turned out. Oh my gosh, it's really good. I think I need to use a different straw because it's a little too... Okay, you get it. There you go, that's much better. This is so good. I used a frozen banana that was basically on its last day. I used some fresh strawberries, some Trader Joe's vanilla yogurt, some pineapple juice, and that's it. And it's so good. Oh my god, it's so flippin' good. I did put some ice cubes in it just to keep it cold, because I probably should have put ice in it anyway, but it's really good. It's delicious. So I'm gonna drink this, read this book. I'm so excited. funny because it says that it's 70 degrees outside, but I am freezing. I really want to put my sweater on, but I don't know. I'm still trying to decide. It's kind of overcast outside right now, but I'm freezing. I can't believe it's 70 degrees. It was supposed to rain today. I've been a really bad vlogger at the moment, but I finished Days of Distraction by Alexandra today, and I actually, while I was reading this, I was debating DNFing it because I just was not having a good time at all. Like, I would say the first like 50% of this book, I was hating it a lot, which sounds really harsh. It's just that, like, I don't know, like, I've read a lot of books with this kind of similar idea, I guess, of like, it's a book about a girl in her 20s and it doesn't really have a plot. It's really just about character, but it like also tries to do a lot of stuff at the same time, where it's like, well, it doesn't have a plot, but a lot of stuff happens. And it kind of reminds me of Conversations with Friends or Exciting Times. Maybe even a little bit of Luster, though I feel like Luster has like slightly more plot than the other ones do, and it's probably the best one out of the bunch. But this one just felt really bogged down by a lot of elements. It's like the author had a bunch of different ideas and kind of wanted to use all of the ideas to see which one worked, and then never edited them out or never tried to like connect them together. And then another thing that I kind of felt a little annoyed by, I guess, while I was reading, was that it felt more like it was trying to be a nonfiction book rather than like a narrative novel. Like, I understand why the author put the like that kind of like nonfiction-y information into the book, just to kind of, I guess, contextualize a lot of the stuff that was happening in the book. But it was also super distracting, and it definitely took me out of the story every time it happened. And it was another one of those elements that was just like, was this necessary? Did we really need all of this all the time? And then another thing that I was just kind of annoyed by was that the main character was so boring. She did not have a personality. She felt really flat and kind of let people steamroll her all the time. She never had her own opinions. There was just something about her that just didn't really work well for me, which I kind of feel bad for saying because this book seems to be semi-autobiographical, which, okay, but I felt like a lot of the like side characters or her family were so much more interesting than she was. Like, my favorite character in this book was definitely her dad. He has some like wacky ideas, and there's some things that he says that are like a little like, okay, that's like a little weird, but overall he is so funny and has so many like stories that he just pulls out of his hat and is just like, here's like about my life. And he was definitely the most interesting character in this book. She, however, the main character, which I think her name is Alexandra in the book, that's why I'm like, okay, I think this is autobiographical, but the main character is just like so boring in comparison. Like, this book makes her seem like just like boring, which I've also criticized, you know, some of the other similar kind of books. Like Conversations with Friends, the main character in that book is also really boring, and like everyone else around her seems so much more interesting. And kind of the same thing with Exciting Times as well by Nisha Dolan. That book also has a pretty boring main character with much more interesting side characters. I'm not really sure why these like millennial female writers are doing that to us. Why? Because then you have a book like Luster by Raven Leilani, which is a very similar kind of idea, but the main character of that book is so interesting. Like, she has a personality. Like, she's representing a really interesting character archetype. But then with this book or Conversations or Exciting Times, these female main characters are just so boring. They're so flat. They're so lifeless. Anyway, I probably shouldn't rant too long about this book. I didn't like it. I probably should have rated it a 2-star. I might go back in and give it 2 stars, honestly. I feel so bad. But it was much more of a 2-star book for me. Okay, we're gonna change the rating. I was a little too generous with my rating. I gave it a 3 stars. I think it really deserves 2 stars though. I wanted to give it 3 stars because I felt like it was having a good conversation about being an Asian American in the US and like contextualizing that, but I don't think that it saved it from being such a boring story and having really a boring main character. And I'm sorry that I'm using the word boring so much. I feel like that's really annoying, but there's really no other way to describe this character. Like, she's flat, she's one-dimensional. So 1 book down, and I have 2 more books to go technically in this TBR. I have lore over here, but I'm not gonna start that just yet. So I've already started Who is Maud Dixon. It's actually over by my bed on the other side, so I'm not gonna go grab it right now. So yeah, hopefully I can read more of Who is Maud Dixon and tell you guys how I feel about it as I'm reading it, because I feel bad that I keep reading these books all the way through and then just like telling you how I feel about them afterwards. I should probably remember to update as I'm reading. Okay, this might only be funny to people who have read Hello Girls. Obviously I'm reading Who is Maud Dixon at the moment. I'm really close to the beginning. I'm only like 12 pages in, but they're describing the book that the author Maud Dixon wrote in this like fictional contemporary world, and it literally sounds exactly like Hello Girls by Brittany Cavallaro and Emily Henry. Which is really funny because I wasn't the biggest fan of that book, but I just think it's so funny that like this sounds exactly like an actual real life YA book. I wonder if it's intentional, because in this book it's also a YA book kind of, but they don't really say that it's a YA book. It's just about 2 teenage girls. Interesting. Okay, so happy Saturday. It is, I think it's 1:54. I just got ready finally for the day. So my hair is done. Here we go. Looking nice and long. So yesterday I finished a book, not one that I thought that I was going to read or finish this early in the month, but I kind of got bored when I was doing my hair yesterday and I decided that I really wanted to read a different book. So I decided to pick up Nothing Is Wrong and Here Is Why by Alexandra Petri. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I looked up some videos. So I listened to this as an audiobook and it was pretty good actually. I was a little surprised. I went in not having a lot of expectations. I feel like I haven't seen many of the people that I know on like any social media app reading this book. It did come out, I think, either in 2020 or 2021. I'm not really sure, but it's basically a satire on the 4 years of Trump's presidency. And I wasn't really sure what to expect from this kind of political satire. Sometimes it works really well for me, other times it just doesn't. But I actually really enjoyed this one. The tone was consistent throughout. I thought most, like I'd say like 90% of it was pretty funny. And I think that there were some definite like essays in that book that I think that a lot of people should probably read. I did really enjoy that book. I was genuinely surprised by how much I liked it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think that there were definitely some room for improvement in that book, but I'm not a satirist, so I can't really critique it on the satire, but I did personally really enjoy this book, so I do recommend it. Go check it out. It's a really short audiobook. I think it was 5 hours long, so yeah. I finished 2 books already, which is pretty good. I'm still reading Who is Maud Dixon, and I think I've gotten about 40 pages into it so far. Really enjoying it. It's like starting off really good, so I'm excited about where I'm at in that book. And yeah, I woke up today and it was pretty cold. It's under 60 degrees, but I'm not exactly sure the specific temperature, but it is pretty chilly, so I have my sweater on. We have some, you know, mom jeans on. We're ready to go, and I'm so happy with how long my hair is at the moment. It feels really good. Here's my outfit for today. I have a sweater on. I don't know if it's going to... It looks really dark here. It's actually just orange and has some like stripy bits on it. It's from Target a couple of years ago. I want to say 2019 or 2020, somewhere around then. I have on these mom jeans from American Eagle. I got these probably back in 2019. I rarely wear these ones, but I figured I should wear them today. I don't know if they're gonna focus, but yeah, so Target, American Eagle, and then these little slide clog things are also from Target. So yeah, there's my outfit for today. Very cute. These mom jeans are not quite as loose as I usually like them. That's probably why I don't wear them very often. They feel more like a skinny jean, honestly. Okay, so I just look so great. Bummer, but I brought Who is Maud Dixon with me in my purse today, and somehow, some way, it fell out of my purse and I have lost it. So I might have to put that book on hold for the moment. So I'm going to have to move on to my other Alexandra book, and that will be Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I'm excited for this book. I'm excited to see what I think about it, how it goes. I don't know. I'm excited to see. But I'm really bummed. I'm really bummed about Who is Maud Dixon because I was really enjoying it, but I went ahead and placed a hold for the audiobook and the ebook just in case. So I have 2 holds for the same book, and it's the only place I can get them on, so I have to go to Libby. It's fine, it's not a big deal. I can't believe that I lost the book. That's really great. So yeah, I washed my face, got ready for bed. I'm in my The Last Jedi shirt, one of my faves, and I'm going to go to bed. Yeah, we'll start Lore tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day. The thing is that I have had 2 coffees today and a refresher from Starbucks. So we have a lot of energy at the moment, and I don't really know where to channel it into, so I figured I would update you all. I actually just finished a book. It's one that I haven't really talked about a lot on this vlog because it's not technically part of like the TBR. Also, I think I need to fix my bangs. My bangs are looking awful. Like I said, it's not actually part of my vlog, you know, where I'm reading books written by authors that are named Alexandra, obviously, because you're on this video. Duh. I finished The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn, and that is the 2nd book in the Bridgerton series. I didn't end up reading the 1st book because I have seen the TV show, and I was like, we don't really need to read the 1st book. I already know what happens in it. I'm sure that there are differences between the TV show and the book, obvious differences, but it really doesn't matter to me because who cares? I'm only reading these for like fun. I'm not like, you know, reading them to necessarily like, I don't know. I guess I'm reading every book that I read for fun. It's not like I'm reading it because it's required reading. That's kind of a ridiculous thing to say. Anyway, you can tell that I've had like 3 cups of like caffeinated drinks, right? Where am I going with this? I read it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. I had such a fun time reading it. But the thing is that Anthony is kind of a, I don't know how I would describe him. He's a little sexist. Someone pointed this out in a review. He's a little classist as well, which I didn't get at first, but then I like remembered the part that they were talking about, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he said that. So I did really like him. However, he's a problematic fave. Can we bring back that phrase? He is a problematic fave. I really liked him, but oh my god, he said some like stupid stuff in this book. I ended up really liking this book, like I said. It was so much fun. And I think the next book that I'm going to read from this series is going to be Colin's book, because I really like Colin. He's probably going to be another fave of mine. So yeah, that's what I have been reading at the moment, and I am about to start Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I took off the dust jacket. It's actually right here. Here's the dust jacket. I actually have a spot right by my desk where I keep all of the dust jackets that I'm currently, like, of books I'm currently reading. So I'm gonna read Lore. I haven't started it yet. I'm really excited. I don't know what to expect because I've heard some mixed things about this book. So I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to dislike it. I don't even really understand what this book is about, honestly, if I'm being like completely transparent. So yeah, that's pretty much all of my updates at the moment. I can't think of anything else that I have to talk about. So yeah, I was going to listen to the audiobook for this one, but then I decided that I will just read it physically because I really wanted to read a book physically for this vlog. So I decided it'll end up being lore because I lost Who is Maud Dixon. That's a bummer. That's a bummer, but hopefully I'll get my holds in for that book from the library before I have to finish this vlog, or else we're just not gonna read it in this vlog, I guess. I have read the first chapter of Lore, which is great. I'm also listening to London Grammar while I read this book, which is so much fun. I think besides Taylor Swift, London Grammar might be my favorite artist to listen to while I read. Literally such good music. For like, I think I started to get into them around 2015, 2016, somewhere around then. And ever since then, I just love London Grammar, and I highly, highly recommend listening to them while you're reading, if you are into that kind of thing. If you're not, they're great to listen to after you've read a book. I have read the first chapter of Lore, and I'm really impressed so far. I like the main character. She has a really strong voice. And she's kind of a badass, and we love that. I love a badass female main character, and she is currently boxing, so that's fun. I feel like I've been reading a lot of books with boxing in them, which is a little weird. So yeah, so far so good. I'm going to go on to chapter 2, and hopefully, you know, I continue to enjoy this book because I'm really rooting for it. So it is St. Patrick's Day, which means that it's the 17th of March. I am wearing green today. It's my, you know, I have my green sweater on. It's so cute. Anyway, so last night I read about 50 more pages of Lore, which means that that puts me at 150 pages. So I'm right there. However, I'm not really enjoying this book, to be quite honest. Personally, I think that it's a little boring. From reading some of the Goodreads reviews, it seems like it's a pretty mixed across the board about, like, some people really love it and then other people are like, just, they found it really boring. I think I am in the camp of finding it really boring. There's just something about it that I just don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about the plot. I don't care about what's happening. I really could just put this book down forever, forget about it, never think about it again. I'm a little disappointed because I kind of had, like, I guess I had high expectations for this book, and maybe that was my fault, but I really thought that I was gonna like this book. I love Greek mythology, so I just figured, like, oh, I'll really like this book, you know, it's Greek mythology, and Alexandra Bracken, like, kind of has a reputation for being a pretty good author, I think, at least. There's really not much to say about this book because I was just genuinely bored. So I think we're gonna DNF it. I only got like 33% of the way through, I think. So not super far into it, but we are gonna move on to a different book. I have 11 more days left of my hold on Who is Maud Dixon, so I'm definitely going to get into that book. And then we'll be done with all of my Alexandra books, and we'll see how this goes. I mean, so far, it's not looking great, so very excited about that. Okay, so it is currently 9:30, and I have been listening to a bit of Who is Maud Dixon, but actually the audiobook is really good, so maybe it was for the best, even though I did lose a book that I bought. That's kind of a bummer, but anyway, I am thoroughly enjoying this audiobook. As you can tell, I have my headphones on already. I'm ready to listen to it. I'm so excited. I'm currently 23% of the way through this audiobook, and so far so good. Like, this book is so insane to me. It's so much fun because you're following this, like, really kind of like massively morally gray protagonist She is unhinged in the most interesting way. At first I have to say that I was a little concerned with like, where, like, is this just gonna come out of left field that she's gonna like take the place of this author? But no, like, it's really set up with the fact that like she is willing to do just about anything to like be a published author. Like, that is her goal, and she is going to do anything it takes, and she's already proven that in the first 20% of this book. So I am so excited to see what happens. This is a very interesting book. It's so different than anything I've ever read before. I wonder if it's going to be a little bit of a thriller. It kind of has thriller vibes, but I'm not sure if that's like the direction it's going to take. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens next. Currently, she's already met the like author that is using a fake name. Like, nobody knows who she is. She's already met her now. So we're kind of getting into the meat of the novel. I'm so excited to see what happens. And I wonder if any of like the things that she did in the beginning of this novel, if any of them come back to haunt her later. That'll be interesting, because she starts off as like an editor's assistant or whatever it's called, and she really burns some bridges at her old job. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens, and I will keep you guys updated. I'm so excited to read this book. This might be my favorite one out of all of them. I am now 44% of the way through this book. I'm really enjoying it. However, it's taken quite a while to get to the inciting incident of this book. Like the actual plot that's being mentioned in the synopsis. Like, we haven't really gotten there yet. We're building up to it, I think, and I am sure it'll happen by the 50% mark, but I just think that's so funny. It's just been taking a really long time, but it's not like it's boring. It's not like I'm like, oh, you know, I'm so annoyed. It's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it. I just think that the pacing is really funny. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I am really enjoying it. I love this audiobook. I think this narrator is familiar to me, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. Let me see if I can find the narrator for this audiobook. The narrator is Teresa Plummer. I don't know if I've ever read another one of their audiobooks. At least not on Libby. None of them are coming up that I've read. But I think there are a couple that they've narrated for that I am interested in. So I'm definitely going to have to check out more of their audiobooks, because I really like their narrating style. But yeah, so far so good. I think I'm going to go to bed soon, so this might be the last update for tonight, and hopefully I can finish this book sometime tomorrow. It is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going to go to sleep, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to listen to more of my audiobook. And I did, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. So I just finished the entire thing tonight. Yep. So I finished Who is Maud Dixon. I don't even know what I'm gonna rate it. I think I'll have to talk about that tomorrow, but I just wanted to say, like, I finished it. I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Fun. So it is March 18th, and last night I finished Who is Maud Dixon in one sitting. Like, I'm gonna count it as one sitting mainly because I think I read like the first 30 pages from my physical book before I lost it. So we're just gonna count those. And I literally started the audiobook last night and I could not put it down. I couldn't. It was so good. I was shocked by how much I enjoyed it. Not that I thought it was gonna be a bad book or anything, but it kind of surprised me in the way that the story was told and the pacing and the characters, and like, I don't know what I was expecting, honestly, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because there were some things that like just I didn't love. So I decided that 4 out of 5 stars felt fair, and it's not necessarily like a new favorite or anything. So I was like, I think 4 is a pretty good rating for this book. But I had a really great time filming this vlog and like getting to see all of these very different books from Alexandra authors. I feel like I don't really read a lot of books that are written by my name twins, so it was really fun. Especially Alexandra Bracken was really interesting to kind of get to look into because I've never read any of her other books. I didn't read The Darkest Minds when it was like really big in YA dystopian, so I felt like I finally kind of got to see what her writing is like, which I think that possibly I might read another of her books later. Maybe The Darkest Minds because I do own it, but I don't know. I'm like almost never in a dystopian mood. So it'd be a little weird for me to like go and pick up The Darkest Minds and be like, I'm gonna read this book because it's dystopian. But maybe in the future I would want to read one of her books. And then with Days of Distraction by Alexandra Chang, I don't know, that book really just didn't do it for me. I didn't really like the storytelling, I didn't like the pacing, I didn't like, you know, the structure of the story. I thought the characters were kind of interesting except for the main character, so that was kind of an issue. And then with Nothing Is Wrong and Here's Why, I thought that was a really great political satire of like 2016 to 2020. I thought it was really funny, really interesting. It was definitely a really fast-paced book because I think I read it in like one sitting basically. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that book. And then of course Lore. And then now Who is Maud Dixon? I liked that book probably the most out of any of the books that I read for this vlog. It was just a lot of fun. I had a really great time reading that book and I highly recommend it, especially out of any of these books. I'm definitely intrigued to read more from Alexandra Andrews. I don't know if this is the only book she's ever published, but I would absolutely read more from her. Like, I loved her writing style. I really liked her voice. I thought her characters were really interesting and complicated and complex, and I would definitely read something from her again. So yeah, I had a really great time filming this. I feel like I've said that a billion times, but I really did. This idea just kind of came out of nowhere. At first I was gonna try to read books that had main characters with my same name, but that was a little bit harder to find. So I decided to go with authors, and that was so much easier. But if I can find some books that center around a main character with my name, I might do like a part 2 of this video. That'd be fun. So I hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, Storygraph, TikTok. All the links are gonna be down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you.